There are more people incarcerated in America than in any other country in the world per capita. It's a stain on our society, which has led to families and individuals and communities being devastated.
Why are we spending the massive amounts of money to keep people incarcerated that could be getting out, so that when they did get out, they didn't return?
These individuals are amongst the least, the lost, and the left behind. And we have an opportunity in a bipartisan way to make a difference in their lives in so many areas.
Congressman Jeffries and I believe yes to the future. I know that when we have worked on this, it is about what we can accomplish and how we can accomplish it in a way that is meaningful to others.
Hakeem Jeffries and I authored the First Step Act.
The First Step Act is criminal justice reform legislation that was done in a bipartisan way to strike a blow against the mass incarceration epidemic that we have in America. Doug Collins was the lead Republican, who's a conservative from rural Georgia. I'm a progressive from the People's Republic of Brooklyn. Doug and I disagree on a whole host of issues, but we agree on the need to deal with overcriminalization in America.
This bill would have not been worth anything if it hadn't affected people's lives to where they change and where they have the ability to control their life again.
I grew up in Southeast San Diego. At a young age, I started running with gang members. I became involved in selling crack cocaine, and that led right up to me being arrested for a drug conspiracy. For that, I was sentenced to 25 years. During my time in prison, I did an Associate's of Arts degree in General Studies. I did the General Business Certificate program, and I got the Bachelor's of Science in Small Business Management.
And this just kind of gives you like
I believe that people have the opportunity to not only learn, but to change their worldview. Once you look at the world in a different way, you'll never react to the world the same way.
The First Step Act will incentivize prisoners to participate in evidence-based recidivism reduction programs.
So this bill allows prisoners to earn an additional 7 days off their sentence each year they demonstrate good behavior. It funds important job training, drug treatment, and education services.
The one thing about this bill, it never took away from the fact that in the eyes of the law, something wrong was done. But the question became, how do we then make the system benefit society as much as the person going through it?
We understood that there was an underlying consensus emerging to try to tackle this issue in a way that had support from both progressives and conservatives.
Hakeem and I sat down and said, what can we do now? We knew the pitfalls of actually passing legislation in this town. I was able to use my influence to those who may have been skeptical of looking at criminal justice reform, and Hakeem being able to go to the more liberal side or the progressive side, who said this doesn't go far enough. And so this is what partnerships look like.
There were times when the right tried to kill the First Step Act, and there were moments when the left tried to kill the First Step Act, but we were able to fight through it all with a broad bipartisan consensus, which is what you need in this town in order to get things done.
We took it from the perspective we're not going to get everything. Here's how we get it out of the House. We go to the Senate, we let them add on some stuff, because when it comes back, there's an understanding that there was a meeting in the middle. You find the path to start with, and you say, here's what's workable.
The First Step Act was supported by the ACLU and the Koch brothers, the NAACP and the Heritage Foundation, progressives and conservatives, ultimately leading to a bill that was embraced by the president and signed into law.
Based on the First Step Act, I was released from federal prison just less than 3 weeks ago. On the 25-year term I was sentenced to, I actually only served 17 and a half years. Right now I'm living with my sister Pamela Wood and my nephew Osiris.
Father was locked up.
If we view the tangible impact of the First Step Act as people getting released from prison early, the intangible act is the hope that it provides. Soon as I got out, I started an MBA degree with the help of the Prison Scholar Fund, and I'm about to transfer to San Diego State. I was in pursuit of a better me.
We are here in the United States Congress to deal with issues of importance to the American people. And many of us don't see problems as Democratic issues or Republican issues, but as American issues that should be confronted in a bipartisan way.
If we want to find common ground, that's when we have the civility of saying, I'm passionate about my ideas, but I'm willing to listen to your ideas and say, how do we make this work? When we see that, that's when we see actual change happen.